I'm here today to talk about diseases of plants. I'm Carol Trottier. This is Back to the Garden. Here's our co-host, Bonnie Klein, the town horticulturist.
Hi, Carol. You're not going to need that hazmat suit today. It's not contagious to people.
I have here some sad-looking leaves from my vegetable garden. This is from my yellow squash. What is this and what did I do wrong?
Well, you didn't do really anything wrong. So this squash has powdery mildew, and you could purchase disease-resistant varieties, and that might help. But in middle of August, you usually do see some type of powdery mildew on your plants. So the best thing you can do is practice disease sanitation, which is cleaning up the leaves that do have this on it.
This is from my tomato, one of my cherry tomatoes.
Well, this could be a leaf spot, and it looks like a little bit of anthracnose, which is fungal diseases. Tomatoes and peppers and eggplants all come from the same families, and it's important to try to rotate those crops every season, every maybe 2 years. Don't plant them together, move them around your garden. Because it stays in the soil and it gives it back to each other.
I see you brought some samples of shrubs.
So this is a very common plant that most of us have in our yards. It's an Arborvitaes. It gets a variety of diseases and insects. You usually see a branch that might look like this. It's all brown, and most of the time, if you look close, it's just a broken branch because it does break. Just break it off yourself so it looks nice and clean on the plant. Lots of times you can get spider mites on this, you can get tip miner and this time of year is a good time to treat it. For spider mites, you can just hose the whole tree off. I try to use cultural practices before using any types of pesticides.
And this here, what happened with this one, Bonnie?
So this is a crab apple. A lot of you know have maybe pears also. The ornamental pears, Callery pear, Bradford pear. And on this is a rust. This is cedar apple rust. And it goes between a juniper and a pear or the apple tree. One is a host for the other one, and they give it back and forth to each other. If they're both in your landscape, you're always going to have it. You can use a fungicide early in the season, but it doesn't usually work the way you'd want it to work. You know, you could get rid of the juniper and then you wouldn't have a problem, but your neighbor might have a juniper. So it's always going to go back and forth. So the best thing again, to try to purchase a plant that is disease and insect resistant.
I see you bought a hunk of lawn here.
This time of year again, we're in the middle of August, is grub season. The first thing you do is to ID what your problem is. So what you would do is cut out a piece of lawn like this, and you would look underneath the lawn to see if you have any insects. Up to 8 grubs, that means that you have a grub problem. If you see 1 grub, that's not a problem. A lot of the pesticides are not legal on Long Island anymore because of our groundwater. So it's important to check to make sure what you have before you just go ahead and blame it on grubs this time of year, or you could just have a lot of weeds in your lawn.
All right, well, thank you, Bonnie, for teaching us about some of the common diseases of our vegetable plants, shrubs, and grass. And we'll see you next time on Back to the Garden.
Hello, I'm Judy Bosworth, North Hempstead Town Supervisor. I hope you'll visit us here at Clark Gardens sometime soon. And please bring your gardening questions. Thanks for watching.